everybody. Welcome to another episode of Two Strike Noise, your weekly baseball history podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Jeff, joining me as always from our remote studio in an undisclosed location in Tacoma, Washington. It is my co-host, Mark A. Johnston. Did I just give it away?
You just disclosed my undisclosed location.
Shoot. Well, we're recording this show a couple of weeks ahead because of the holidays, so I'm not worried. I think you'll be able to exit the studio in time.
Yeah, I got to hit the North Pole now, though. Oh, well. I like going up there.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody here in the States had a nice Thanksgiving holiday. I hope everybody is doing well and is healthy and safe. We have got a special edition for you. As I said, we're recording this a couple weeks ahead of time just because we want to have a little bit of time off around the holidays. And we learned from last year that people don't like it when you take a week off for the holidays.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That was not a popular move.
No, so we're gonna power through, and we're gonna get you this show. So I hope you sit around your Thanksgiving table. I'm thankful for Two Strike Noise. I'm sure you did. But we've got a Tales from the Dugout episode this week, which is always fun for us because we'd like to do little shorter stories as opposed to one long story each or an interview. These are just shorter stories that are fun but might not warrant an entire show to discuss. So I'm just gonna give you a couple of quick things here in batting practice, Mark, and then we'll get to trivia and then we'll get on to it. First of all, have you heard of LaMar Johnson?
I don't think so.
So LaMar Johnson played for the Chicago White Sox mainly. He spent 1 year with the Rangers in last year's career. He had played for 8 years with the White Sox, 74 through 81. And LaMar Johnson had quite a day on June 19th, 1977. My Oakland A's were in town. Johnson sang the national anthem before the game. This is a doubleheader. And he sang the anthem before the first game, and he followed it up with 2 home runs and a double in the first game.
Nice.
Those were the only
day.
Yeah, those were the only 3 White Sox hits of the game. And that was it. And the White Sox won 2-1.
Even better.
Yeah, he sang the anthem, got the only 3 hits for the team, 2 of which were homers, and drove in the only 2 runs to win the game for him. So pretty impressive. In 1989, Johnson played for the St. Petersburg Pelicans of the Senior Professional Baseball Association, which we've covered before.
Awesome.
He hit .372 in 25 games with the club, and he played in the championship game against the West Palm Beach Tropics. He hit a home run and drove in 3 runs, did not sing the anthem, to lead the Pelicans to the title, and he was named the Star of Stars, which was the name given to the MVP of that championship game.
Nice.
LaMar Johnson. Next, this is just a little quick thing. Jamie Moyer. So he played a long time, right?
Oh, he did.
Yeah. So in the final game that Jamie Moyer played in his career, he was playing for the Rockies. And they were playing the Phillies. The Phillies were wearing throwback uniforms in this game.
Uh-huh.
The throwback uniforms they were wearing was from the first year that Jamie Moyer was in the league. From 1986.
A throwback. He's looking at this going, how's this a throwback?
So they were wearing the Phillies uniforms that he would have faced as a member of the Cubs in his rookie year in 1986. Same uniforms. Yeah, exactly. He's going, these aren't throwbacks. I remember these.
That's great.
That's what happens when you pitch for 25 years in the big leagues.
Yeah. Yes, this is true.
Jeez. Oh, I thought that was funny. All right,
That's
so
cool.
let's just get right into trivia because we've got Tales from the Dugout here, and then we've got Wax Packs Heroes. So we've got plenty to fill up our time with you here this week. The trivia question I asked you last week was, who was the last Yankee to wear number 3? And you were able to tell me who the first and most famous number 3 was. For the Yankees. But the last one to wear number 3, who was it?
Yeah, I don't really have a guess. I was just going to do a shout out to one of my favorite comedians, Fozzie Bear. That's all
Waka
I got.
Waka?
Yes.
Or Fozzy, the band that has
No,
wrestler
not the
Chris
band.
Jericho singing. No?
Yes, formerly Fozzie Osbourne.
Oh, is he not the lead anymore? So they changed their name, or what's going on there?
No, they were Fozzie Osbourne at first, and then they had to change it.
Oh, the Prince of Darkness is like new.
Yeah, he was in a dark mood.
Yeah. So last question to wear number, and as I said again, we were recording this a couple of weeks ahead. I'm sure several people sent us answers, and I'm sure you were correct. So I'm gonna just be silent for a minute. You can just say your name if you sent in an answer, and we'll say, hey, congratulations to. All right, good job, guys.
Great job.
Good job, team. So the answer is Cliff Mapes.
Oh, Cliff.
I'm assuming I say that Mapes. He might be French. It might be Cliff Mape. I'm going to go with Mapes, though.
We're Americans, man. Just go with Mapes.
Mapes. So he wore number 3 for the Yankees in 1948.
Huh. So they hadn't retired the number.
No, and that was his rookie year. He had 2 numbers. And this is what my thoughts are. Is he came up and they gave him number 3 without thinking about it, and then they're like, "Oh, hold up, that's kind of an important number. Here, have a future A-Rod number," and he wore number 13 for the Yankees the rest of that year. That's what I say happened.
There you go. You're probably right.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems obvious.
Yeah. So Mapes was an outfielder for the Yankees, nicknamed Tiger. He was on 2 World Series teams, the 49 and the 50, when they beat the Dodgers and the Phillies. Or no, yeah, that's the Phillies, not the A's at that point. So he's got a couple of rings, played for 5 years. But Cliff Mapes was your last New York Yankee to wear the number 3. All right, so I got a
There you have it, folks.
new question for you. Something to think about here. Who is the only player to be named an All-Star while being a member of both the Expos and the Blue Jays? So there's only one player that was ever an All-Star representing one year the Expos and another time the Blue Jays. Who was it?
That's a good one. I like this one.
And we are talking Expos. We are not talking Nationals, so you can't go that far. I'm looking for, they represented both Canadian teams in the All-Star game. So
that's tough, man.
Yeah, I think this is a good one. I think people can get it. People that want to research it can get this one, but it's gonna be a little bit of work. All right, so we're gonna wrap up our BP segment with that trivia question. We're going to let the grounds crew come out and do their thing. A little bit of extra work because it's getting cold now and the grass is starting to turn from green to brown. So they're really working hard out there.
It doesn't taste as good either.
Don't eat the grass. How many times do I have to tell you this?
Seriously?
Yeah, don't do it.
I keep forgetting.
They fertilize that, and that's not good.
So, that's what the tangy flavor is.
let's get into our Tales from the Dugout segment. This is where we've got some just shorter baseball stories. We like to do kind of goofy stuff here and talk about some of the oddities with baseball. So I wanted to take this in kind of a different direction, and I wanted to talk about one of my favorite performers, the first concert I ever saw in person, and the best, I think, holiday album ever put out, even though he is Jewish. I want to talk about Neil Diamond.
Oh, Cracklin' Rose. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's interesting. Let's see how you got Neil Diamond in the baseball world.
So Neil Diamond, first of all, that is his real name. I thought Diamond might have been a stage name, but that is his real last name. Neil Diamond was 14 in 1955. Living in Brooklyn, New York, and the Brooklyn Dodgers, his Brooklyn Dodgers, had just beat the Yankees 4-3 in the World Series. A young Mr. Diamond took to the streets to celebrate the World Series victory of his boys, them bums, and not a care in the world. He loved it. Big Dodgers fan. Well, we know what happened 3 years later. The Dodgers packed up and they headed west to Los Angeles. Apparently, young Neil was devastated and went into a bit of a depression. And his parents, worried about his state of mind, tried to cheer him up by buying him a guitar, his very first guitar.
Wow.
And that sent him on the path of becoming a singer, songwriter,
That's
musician.
amazing.
Diamond's biggest hit probably, arguably, is Sweet Caroline, which has become a big part of sports. But I think baseball is where Sweet Caroline started to be a kind of an arena song.
Yeah, specifically Fenway.
Yep, the Red Sox. In 1997, an employee in the in-house production room. So this is where the kind of place that Mark and I work. It's the room where you are producing the show for the people in the stands. So you're the PA announcer, the music in venue, and the Diamond Vision, the big screens, all those. An employee in there played that in honor of a friend who had just had a baby girl who was named Caroline. And
wow.
They were in the stands, so they played that to honor them. Well, the Red Sox won that game. Over the next couple of years, they would play the song sparingly. They would only play it between the 7th and the 9th innings when the Red Sox were winning. So they didn't want to, if the mood was dour, they did not want to play Sweet Caroline. The crowd, though, they loved it whenever they would play this. As you know, whenever you go to a sporting event, they play Sweet Caroline. Everybody. It's like that and Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. It's generally like the whoever is up there running audio will bring the audio down in certain points of the song so that the crowd just sings it all by themselves.
Yep. Whoa! Just like that.
Yeah, well, now we got to pay. Now we got to pay for that because you sang long enough of that song.
It was only 2 notes, man.
Well, eventually it was thought that this song lifted the fans' spirits regardless of the score. So they moved it to a permanent spot in the bottom of the 8th inning where it's still played today.
Yep. My one trip to Fenway, I did get to enjoy the Sweet Caroline moment. That was great.
You endured. You didn't probably enjoy it as much. But
I did enjoy it. I did. It was kind of fun.
You remember the horrific bombings in Boston during the Boston Marathon.
Of course.
Well, the Red Sox, when they resumed play, Neil Diamond showed up unannounced, bought a ticket, comes into the stands. 30 minutes before the game, he calls a contact with the Sox, and he says, "Hey, I'm here. Do you want me to sing Sweet Caroline live in the bottom of the 8th inning?" And you don't say no if Mr. Diamond shows up.
Absolutely.
So the Sox didn't have a version of the song without lyrics to play. So Neil sung over his own voice, but it didn't matter. I think that was the game where Big Papi dropped the F-bomb during his comments at the beginning of the game. And, it was Boston strong. It was a big deal, as it should have been.
Yeah. That's cool, man.
So remember a long time ago, many, 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 many episodes ago, I talked about the Rooters led by Nuff Said McCready, who would travel with the early Boston teams in the early 1900s, and they would actually sing songs as the Sox players would come to bat, kind of the first walk-up songs. They sung live. Well, the franchise loves music so much that they actually sold, of course, the greatest player of all time to finance a musical, No No Nanette, which we have also covered.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there is, by the way, an actual newer musical about that whole trade. It's called Bambino, the musical. I have a copy of it. And
nice.
I've read through part of it. I'm thinking maybe we get either a Patreon or a GoFundMe together and we put out a production of it on this show.
Shoot, I'm in.
Yeah. Well, everybody heard your singing voice during that Bon Jovi
2 notes, man.
rendition. So I'm thinking
I do those notes great.
Yes, they're very good. But
both of them.
There you go. I just wanted to. I don't know why I stand Neil Diamond. So, well, I do know because he's really good, and he's written a lot of songs that other people have sung that have been big hits as well. But I love Neil Diamond. I am not ashamed to admit it. But he also might not have been Neil Diamond if it were not for the Brooklyn Dodgers and their manifest destiny.
Amazing. Well, I was actually reading up a little bit on the 600 home run club. There's only 9 of them, and I got to Sammy Sosa, and I kind of came across some weird things about his career. He is the only player in history with 3 seasons where he hit at least 60 home runs.
Yep.
So he hit 66 in 98, 63 in 99, and 64 in 2001. And all 3 of those years where he hit 60 home runs, he did not lead the league in home runs, which is crazy because the numbers are so insanely high. He did win home run titles with 50 in 2000 and 49 in 2002. But the record of note that I thought was pretty cool was between 1998 and 2002, Sammy hit 292 home runs, which is the most over any 5-year span in history.
I think I've mentioned it before. During that whole home run race, I was always Team Sosa, just because I had had enough of McGuire in Oakland.
That's funny.
Let's go to, you remember Tom Browning?
Sure. Reds pitcher.
Yeah, so I remember Tom Browning through the first perfect game that I was aware of, that happened when I was following baseball. That was on September 16, 1988 against the Los Angeles Dodgers. And I remember the next year, his scorecard, because it was 89, and that was the first year of score, wasn't it? Or was it 88? I don't remember. But
89, I think.
I think it was 89.
No, it was 88.
Was it?
89 for football.
I remember they had a special card about it. And I remember when it happened. That was the first perfect game since I had started following baseball. Well, Tom Browning, I want to talk about July 7th, 1993. So 5 years after he's thrown that perfect game. Tom Browning and the Reds were at Wrigley to face the Cubs. Browning was not pitching this day. He's sitting in the dugout to start the game and talking to his teammates, and they're looking at fans sitting on the rooftops across the street. You know how they do at Wrigley at the rooftops. There's bleachers up there. Mm-hmm. Fans can watch games from there. And he had a brilliant idea. So he picks up the bullpen phone and calls the visiting clubhouse attendant, which is not what the bullpen phones are for, but he does it anyway. And he tells this guy what he wants to do. And he has this plan. The clubhouse attendant happens to know one of the owners of the rooftop buildings. So you might sense where this is going. So Browning casually made his way to the visiting clubhouse in the 3rd inning, put on a black tracksuit over his uniform so as not to be recognized. He met the clubby outside of the stadium, and he took him over to meet the building owner outside. And half an inning later, he made his way to the top of one of these rooftop stands, took off his tracksuit, exposing his Reds uniform, and sat on the front railing of the stands with his feet dangling over the edge.
I didn't know Tom Browning was insane.
He doffed his hat and gestured in the direction of the Reds dugout, eventually getting the attention of teammates who were, as you can guess, very amused. Teammate Tim Belcher pointed out Browning to a camera operator in the dugout, and from there he was exposed to the world. There is video on YouTube. I'll throw it in the links if you want to see him over there. A woman on the rooftop asked Browning if he was really a ball player, and he said, "Oh yeah, of course I am. I'm Tom Browning. Thanks for knowing. I did throw a perfect game, She then asked if he wanted a beer and a brat. And he replied, "Thanks. I think I'm probably already in enough trouble." So Tom headed back after the half inning, and he was indeed in trouble. Manager Davy Johnson chewed him out in the clubhouse after the game and fined him $1,000. Ultimately, though, what Johnson was most mad about was that Browning had left the stadium while wearing his uniform. That was what he was most upset about.
Okay.
Well, this is not the only time in his career that Tom left a stadium during a game. Browning's wife went into labor during Game 2 of the 1990 World Series. Browning was not, he's a starter. He didn't start that game, so he left the stadium to be with his wife at the hospital. Well, that game went into extra innings, and Lou Piniella, manager of the Reds at that point, looks down the bench trying to figure out, okay, we're going to extra innings. What do I want to do? And he realizes that Browning is nowhere to be found. So someone tells him, hey, he went to the hospital. His wife's in labor. So the Reds, the Piniella, gets somebody to call up to the announcers, who at this point would have probably been probably Vin Scully up there doing the games in 1990. Or Al Michaels. That's probably who it was. Al Michaels, I'm guessing. And had them read a statement on the air, on radio and TV, asking Browning to return to the ballpark in case he needed to pitch. This is like when I paged my mom at the library because I had lost line of sight in this library that's 100 feet long, and I lost sight. So I ran and make an announcement. Well, Browning
was last week, right?
Yeah. Browning, in fact, did hear this message in the hospital and elected to stay with his wife. The Reds won in 10 innings, and he wasn't needed anyway. But that was kind of funny that you page him over national television during a World Series game.
It's different.
Yeah, different. Brown, very superstitious guy, did not shave between starts. As a result, he was often photographed with 4-day stubble. He also wore red underwear on the days he pitched.
Okay, he was insane.
Well, I mean, guys, Jason Giambi wore a gold thong for a while. Aubrey, I'm not even going to say his last name because he's an awful person, wore his wife's underwear during the World Series.
Oh, God, that's frightening.
So, yeah, so I'm wondering, so Tom Browning pitched for 12 years, 11 of which were with the Reds. His final year, he pitched for the Royals. I'm wondering if he wore blue underwear for that one, or if
Quite
he stuck
possible.
with the red. I don't know. Now I need to know, though. I'm going to have to find out, but I just...
Give him a buzz, man.
Well, he owns a bar in Cincinnati, and he apparently still tends bar on Sunday. But
no kidding.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'm legit gonna see if I can figure out what happened when he was traded.
The mystery of the blue underpants.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that down as a project for this upcoming season of Two Strike Noise. But I thought that fit right into kind of our MO here on Two Strike Noise.
Absolutely. Well, you know who Joe Sewell is? He's a Hall of Famer. We've talked about him, I think, a little
before.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Sewell, 14 seasons from 1920 to 1933, lifetime average of .312, won a couple World Series, had 8,332 plate appearances, and struck out 114 times.
Jeez.
Is that amazing?
That is like Tony Gwynn-esque.
Yeah, he wasn't facing, Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver, but still, give me a break. It's let's see here. Total plate appearances is an otherworldly rate of 1.4%, and for him to reach 200 strikeouts, he would have to have about another 8,000 plate appearances.
He struck out about as many times as Greg Maddux walked somebody.
That's right. He is the reverse negative of Greg Maddux. I just thought that was pretty impressive. And you know what? Last time, mine are really short, so I hope you don't mind. Last show, we talked a little bit about Babe Ruth. And I thought, what was Babe Ruth's, what was his biggest year for records and stuff like that? 1920. It was Babe Ruth's first season with the Yankees. And he hit 376, had over 500 on base, 847 slugging, and 54 home runs, which the record before he hit the 54 home runs was 29.
Which he said set the year before.
Which was his, exactly. Second place that year was 35 less home runs than Babe Ruth. So explain that one. That's just crazy. He was so ahead of his time. By the way, the home runs added up to more than any non-Yankees team in the American League. So the teams couldn't even get to 54 home runs. Pretty amazing.
Just to think, though, I mean, if he would have remained a pitcher, he might be in the Hall of Fame as a pitcher as well.
It's true.
I know we talk to, when we talk to people that aren't as into baseball as we are, people just think of Babe Ruth as kind of, a big guy, kind of didn't look like he was in shape. At the end of his career, he had kind of put on some pounds, but the dude was an athlete. I mean, he wasn't always big. He was skinnier when he was playing in his 20s, but also you just see stuff. He was a good boxer. Like, he was just a good athlete. Everything he did well. Yeah,
he even stole a few bases.
Yeah, 123.
Nice. See, if he was a big fat guy, he wouldn't have done that.
Just look at his baseball reference page, though, and half the numbers offensively are in bold, and that means he led the league that year. It's all bold.
Yeah. He was just so far ahead of his time as far as the power hitting game, just way ahead.
Yeah, and then if you look at something called Black Ink, which is one measure of. It's a way of how you can kind of measure somebody's career. Black Ink being, okay, how many times did he lead the league in whatever category? The average Hall of Famer's Black Ink is 27 for a batter. Babe Ruth's was 157, which is the highest ever.
That's nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the dude was just he was legendary. He was a legend at the time he was playing. There was no bigger name.
It's interesting. I mean, there's no way you can compare Babe Ruth to anybody today. People are saying, oh, well, we can see Mike Trout. Mike Trout would have murdered everybody back then. And Babe Ruth wouldn't have been able to do it. And I mean, there's no way you can legitimately say that because it's just completely different.
Yeah.
Clearly, nobody shaped the game of baseball like Babe Ruth did.
Yes. And that to cap it off, in 1920, his slugging percentage was still a record. 847.
Jeez. Well, he hit 840. He slugged 846 the next year. So down year.
Yeah. All right. Well, looking up one famous Yankee had me looking up another famous Yankee this time, though, Aroldis Chapman, because he's always hitting 100 miles an hour and he
not
can
anymore.
Throw the ball. So, he was, but it's just one real quick number of the 100 fastest pitchers recorded since 2008. He threw 81 of them. He also threw 2,115 more fastballs of at least 100 miles an hour than the next guy. 32.1% of his pitches are over 100 miles an hour. Now that's an arm.
Yeah. I remember when he was with Cincinnati. Didn't he throw the first pitch that was over 105 miles per hour or registered in baseball history?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. 105. That's ridiculous.
I wonder what would happen if they had to have him race a motorcycle to determine how quickly he threw. So his nicknames are listed as the Cuban Missile or just the Missile. I think I'm pretty sure his teammates have another nickname for him. And I think it's like Captain Sweat or something like that. Because the dude is just dripping sweat off the bill of his cap at all times. Like he works up a lather just like blinking. The dude sweats a lot.
Sweaty dude, man.
Yeah, he's got to rehydrate a lot.
Well, another thing, just real quick, we were talking about hitting 50 home runs. How about giving up 50 home runs in one season? Burt Blyleven in 1986, over 36 starts, gave up 50 home runs, which is a single season record. That's .91 per game. The guy who led the league in home runs, which was Jesse Barfield, only hit 40. So Blyleven gave up 10 more than the leading hitter.
Blyleven should have won the home run title that year.
Yeah, it's never happened again since then, by the way. 2019, 36 starts with a home run rate 48 points higher than the league average would have put Blyleven at 67 home runs allowed.
Jeez.
He gave up the long ball. He's a good pitcher, though. He's a solid pitcher. I had nothing wrong with Burt Blyleven. He just, would give up the long ball often.
Yeah, I mean, I remember him most with the Twins at the end of his career where, the Metrodome gave up a good deal of home runs, especially before they put the plexiglass in the outfield in left and center. And then you had the Baggy and Right, which was a short porch. I mean, that was just a place where you gave up a lot of home runs. So I can see how that he gave up 46 the next year, which also led the league. But
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy should be throwing BP.
Well, I think he was.
Bring out the best in your hitters. Yeah.
I wonder, that would be something to look up to see who hit the most home runs off him that year. That'd be interesting. Maybe that's a trivia question coming up. Who hit the most home runs off of Burt Blyleven in 1986?
Yeah, I like it. I don't know, but I would like to know. So let's. I'll be tuning in to the show to listen to see what that is.
Let's just do a quick search here. I'm looking at his game log from that year. By game, I'm seeing 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 2.
Wow.
I mean, he gave up 5 home runs in one game in September against Texas.
I've seen teams hit 5 home runs, but all against the same pitcher.
Yeah. Ruben Sierra and Daryl Porter each hit 2. Pete Incaviglia and Pete O'Brien hit 1. They weren't. I guess they weren't all off of him, but there you go. 5 home runs in one game.
That's crazy.
And not surprisingly, he took the loss, 14-1.
Yes.
He stuck around for 5 1/3 innings, though.
Yeah. Well, he gave you a quality start, except for the quality.
You don't want to chew up the bullpen. You've already lost the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Mike Mason.
Quality start, but no
Mike
quality.
Mason started for the Rangers. He's like, the sun shines on every dog every now and then.
I just have one more statistical anomaly.
All right.
Or not an anomaly, but it's just a weird stat. Steve Carlton is credited with 146 pickoffs in his career, and that is the all-time record, which is amazing. But Carlton also racked up the most career balks because that move was so crazy and so close to, balking. 90 career balks, twice as many as any other pitcher.
And this was before he never had Balkin' Bob Davidson calling his game.
No.
Well, he might have at the end of his career.
I looked it up. Balkin' Bob was behind the plate for only 6 of his games.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to be behind the plate to call balk.
Well, that's true. Who knows? Balkin' Bob probably helped. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Carlton pitched till 87, 88? I think Bob was around. Yeah. When was the big balk year? It was 88 or 89, I think, wasn't it?
When pitchers weren't coming to a full stop that year?
Yeah, I mean, that was crazy.
It was like 85, I think, or 86. All right, man. Well, those are the numbers I wanted to go over. And just a bunch of weird, strange. Baseball is a very statistical-oriented game because the geeks that follow it, like you and I, love statistics. And so there are so many. We make up new ones all the time. So I thought I'd find a few weird ones and throw them out there.
Yeah, I mean, just you mention these names, I just like to pull them up on Baseball Reference and just stare at them. I mean,
see, 100% geek.
Yeah, I mean, Carlton has got a lot of Black Ink here as well. A lot of his numbers are pretty impressive. But only 69. Average Hall of Famer as a pitcher is 40, which, I mean, you almost doubled it, so that's pretty darn good. Right. All right, Mark. So let us leave the dugout and let's jump into our Wax Packs Heroes.
Wax Pack Hero! Gonna pull a Wax Pack Hero! Stars in his eyes. Hero!
All right, so we changed it up a little bit last week. I kind of liked it. One, because I won, which is a rarity. But I've got some cards here that we don't have a Beckett's that they're in. And today we're actually 1993 Stadium Club from Topps, a couple of packs. And
nice cards.
Yeah, these are pretty cards. I remember I haven't opened these packs yet, but I know what they look like. I've got plenty of Stadium Clubs. They're really, you said it off, Mike, really Topps answer to Upper Deck. And when cards really started to get really nice. So we're going to play a little bit different again this week. We're going to use WAR for the year of which these cards are, which is 1993. We're going to use Baseball Reference WAR For batters, it's just offensive WAR, and then pitchers is overall WAR. Got a couple of extra rules, though. If you are a Hall of Famer, you're going to get an extra, essentially .05 WAR. If you are if you are wearing real stirrups, you're going to get an extra .01. I'm just going to refer to these as whole numbers here, just for the sake of brevity. If you are wearing 2-in-1 stirrups, though, we're going to minus 1 point off of you, because that's not a good look, and it brings your team down and causes them to lose a game each year over replacement. Next, if you are wearing glasses of any sort, you get an extra point. If you are wearing sweatbands with your caricature, your jersey number, or a McDonald's logo, again, don't think that's ever going to happen again, you get an extra point. If, however, though, you are wearing high tops and your pants are pulled up, that's going to be a -1 point. And if you're wearing 2-in-1s when that happens, that's going to be a -2 points, because teams hate that. That's just, you're in the hole. Ugly. Before the season starts, you're in the hole 0-2, essentially. Not good.
Couldn't agree more.
All right. So, Mark, under these kind of new rules, last week I came up with my first victory in a while. You lead 7-4 right now. I've got 2 packs here. One is a Series 2, one is a Series 3. I'm going to let you choose which one you would like.
I would like the Series 2.
All right. I do not know who is in each of these 2 versus 3, so we're just going blind here.
Yeah, me neither. So
I'm going to let you go first, because that's the way we usually do it. And I'm going to go ahead and open this tightly sealed pack. I'll let you guess what that means. It is glued to the back card, so.
Yeah.
All right. My God, these are so pretty. They're so glossy and so pretty.
Yeah.
So your first card is a San Francisco Giant. It is Mike Benjamin.
So my first card is someone I don't remember at all.
Apparently.
Nice.
Yeah. Mike Benjamin actually played for 13 years in the big leagues. Most of it with the Giants. 7 years. Really a utility infielder. He pretty much played everywhere. His WAR for this year was -0.1, though. But you're going to like it because he's got sunglasses on here, and he has got real stirrups. So you're actually going to get essentially 1 cent there. This is when players stopped wearing the flip downs, and they were wearing were they gargoyle? Was that what they were called? Kind of the wraparound things?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. All right. You're going to enjoy this card because of who it is. It is here with the Houston Astros. It is Luis Gonzalez.
Luis going Gonzalez.
Came up with the Astros. Of course, I know him best, I think, with the Diamondbacks. I mean, he is... Yeah. I think he's one of the most popular Diamondbacks of all time. Obviously on the 2001 World Series team with the Diamondbacks as well. Gonzo, in 1993, had a good year. A 2.8 WAR. So that equates to 28 cents. And
see that he's even still doing good for me.
Yeah, that's a strong card there. Nice job.
Yeah.
By Gonzo. Next, one of the Devos that we like to joke about. But this one, D-E-V is in his first name. It's Devon White, our favorite Jamaican.
Our favorite Devo. Yeah, fantastic player. Great center fielder. He could hit. He had a little bit of power. He could run. He was solid.
Great defensively.
Yeah, absolutely.
7-time Gold Glove winner. 3 World Series, twice with Toronto, and then he was on that 97 Florida team as well.
Oh, wow.
And if you thought Gonzo had a good year, Devo, an all-star in 93, had a 4.7 WAR.
What? Oh, my Lord, that's amazing.
Yeah. He is a fan of the 2-in-1s here, so that will bring that down to 4.6, which equates to 46 cents. But that's you can't hate that. That'll bring you up to 75 cents after like 3 cards. So these cards are juiced. That's what it is. This new way of doing it is juicing. Oh boy, I liked this guy. He came up with the Braves. He was on those first Braves teams that, went to the World Series when I was in college. Brian Hunter.
I remember Brian Hunter, sure.
Is he the one that went by Brian L. Hunter, or is that the other one? There were two Brian Hunters at the same time in the big leagues.
I actually don't remember which was which, but there was a Brian L. Yeah.
Let's see. This Brian Hunter. I'm looking for it. Nope. This is Brian Reynolds Hunter. Reynolds.
Okay, no L.
No L there. In 93, wow, a minus 1.2 WAR. That's surprising.
Oh,
he does have a mustache though, so
okay,
that'll save you a little bit. That'll only be a minus 11, bring you down to 64 cents. Next pitcher for the Twins. We were talking about pins twitchers, otherwise known as Twins pitchers. It is Mark Guthrie.
Mark Guthrie, yeah, I remember him too. Lefty, right?
Lefty or righty?
I thought he was a lefty.
Yeah, but then you said right, and I was just busy looking at it.
I got you.
You are correct. He throws left, or through left.
Yeah, pretty good pitcher if I remember right. I remember facing him in Strat.
Well, in 1993, he was a .2 WAR player. He pitched for 15 years.
Wow,
that's a hefty career right there. Well, he was a lefty. We joke about that. Next, I have not heard of this guy. Takes a great picture on a glossy Stadium Club card. It is for the Rangers, Donald Harris.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Let's explore Donald Harris, shall we? He played for a couple of years, 3 years, all with Texas, and did not play a whole lot. In 93, his WAR, though, was a minus 0.3. He does have real stirrups, though, so that you only take a 2-cent hit on that one to bring you to 64. Next, this guy is a great follow on Twitter. He is a pitcher for here with the Atlanta Braves. It is Starvin' Marvin Freeman.
Yeah, Marvin Freeman. I remember him as a Brave mostly.
Brave, I remember just because I remember him. But I also see him on Twitter a lot. He was also with the Rockies and came up with the Phillies. I guess he pitched with the White Sox one game his final year. But he loves to post the video of his one career home run, which is fun to watch because he pimped it.
That's great.
For somebody that only hit one home run, he pimped the heck out of that home run trot. 93,
what was his one shot?
Yeah, 93 didn't have a great year. Minus 0.3 in WAR. I am going to say these are 2-1s, but I just don't know. I think I'm going to do you a favor and say cannot tell on that. I'm fairly certain they're 2-1s, but I can't tell. So instead of a -4, we're just going to do a -3.
That works for me.
Next pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, Joe Millette. Or maybe Millet, if he's... I love to pronounce these as if they're French.
As Monty Python would say, it's pronounced throat warbler mangrove.
I don't get it, but okay.
That was name pronunciations kind of thing. Anyway, no, I don't know who that is, dude.
Well, he had a .1 WAR in 1993. He only played for 2 years. In 1993, he only appeared in 10 games, but he still had a positive WAR. While hitting 200. So that's kind of weird.
Wow. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe he was really good defensively. Let's see. That will... nothing else of value, so that'll get you 1 cent. You're at 62 cents. Next pitcher for the Cubs, it is Bob Scanlon.
I remember Bob Scanlon. I don't remember a lot about him.
Bob Scanlon pitched for 9 years in the big leagues, 3 of it with the Cubs, 3 with the Brewers, and then a slew of other teams. 93, he looks like he's probably about league average. Let's see what his WAR was. His WAR was, minus 0.8, so quite a bit below league average. He is wearing real stirrups, though. One might be fooled into thinking they're 2-1s, but that stripe is so thin that I know that it's a real stirrup. But you're going the wrong way here. You're down to 55 cents.
What's going on here?
Okay, here we go. Oh, man. I loved this guy. I love this guy throughout his whole career. He had some lapses in concentration, but I remember he was always great with the fans, both in Atlanta and then especially when he went to San Diego. It's Ryan Klesko.
Oh, man, yeah. Klesko was solid, and you're right. He was very well known for being a gregarious, friendly guy.
Yeah, I remember he used to play catch with fans during BP in the stands.
Sure.
But I remember when he came up, he could mash. And I mean, looking at his career numbers, 278 home runs in 16 years. Any year that he played more than 100 games, he had double digits in home runs in all but 2.
Nice.
Came in third in Rookie of the Year voting as well. And in 1993, he had a .4 WAR. He's got real stirrups on here in the picture as well. So that'll get you 5 cents and bring you back up to 60. Here's your first Hall of Famer.
Yay.
You're going to love this guy. This is probably one of your top 3 Hall of Famers.
Oh, really?
For you. So take 2 guesses.
Well, I'm thinking it's not Nolan Ryan.
Correct.
Craig Biggio.
I was thinking more along the lines of the only 2 Mariners that are in the Hall of Fame. It's Edgar Martinez.
The great pure hitter, man. There's a guy that just a professional hitter.
Third baseman, Edgar Martinez.
Third baseman, huh? Yeah. They haven't figured that out quite yet.
Now, he played, so he came up in 87. He was still playing some third base in 97. And then from there, he played some first in DH. And look at this. His final year of 2004, he played at least one game at third base.
Huh.
Let's see if we can quickly find it. Oh, it was his second to last game, October 2nd, 4-10 loss to the Rangers. He started as DH and then played third.
Nice.
Let's see, in 1993, he had a WAR of .5. He is definitely not wearing real stirrups, unfortunately for you.
Edgar,
well, that'll get you 4 points. So you're at 64 with 2 cards left. Here is, I believe, here it is. It's Eric Karros with the Dodgers. Who did he come up with?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
I thought Karros came up with the Dodgers.
Am I thinking of Paul Konerko that came up with somebody else? I must be.
Poorly.
Yeah.
Konerko came up with the White Sox, I think.
No, I don't think he did.
No?
I'm pretty sure Konerko came up with the Dodgers, actually. He came up with the Dodgers. Was traded midway through his second season. That's who I was getting confused with. But Karros did come up with the Dodgers, played 12 years with LA, then 1 year with the Cubs, and then finished up, as a lot of guys do, with the A's for one unforgettable year.
1 year for the A's is kind of a rite of passage.
Mike Piazza, I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
Nomar Garciaparra. Frank Thomas came back twice. But 1993... Karros, despite winning Rookie of the year before, did not have a great season and had a WAR of -.2.
Oof.
So that's going to take you down to 62. And your final card is a guy that we had last week and we discussed. Last week, though, he was in a Pirates uniform. Here he is in a Cubs uniform. It's Steve Buechele.
Steve Buechele, yes. Third baseman. Yep. Solid.
Yep.
Good ball player.
Let's see. Steve Buechele in 1993 is near the end of his career, but he had a 2.2 WAR. Wow.
Nice.
So,
oh boy.
Yeah, that helps you out. That'll bump you up to 84.
Nice.
I don't know. We both scored over $1 last week, so I'm not sure. You only had one Hall of Famer in that, but it was a big one. But all right, so you've got a score of 84 cents. And let's open up this. Geez, Do you have a jackhammer or something?
I have a chisel. You
We
want to use
might
that?
need that. Yeah. This is. Jeez. I think I've just destroyed the card in the back.
Is it glued on?
Just about. Just about.
Yeah.
All right. Let me turn all these cards the right way. They're weird. These cards are all, half of them are one way, half are the other. Some are flipped and all this stuff. So, all right. Let's jump right into it. This guy I remember with the Rangers, but I believe he came up with the Brewers as he is here. He had some pop. It's Kevin Reimer.
Yeah, Kevin Reimer. I remember that guy. He was. I remember him. I think as a Ranger, and he did have. He could hit home runs every once in a while.
Yeah, so I guess he came up with the Rangers. This is apparently his last year. In '93, he spent with the Brewers, and he did have some good power years. His last 2 years with the Rangers. And then not a bad with his final year here, but it does equate to a minus 0.2 ERA. He's got something on his sweatbands. Nope, just says Easton. I thought it might be his jersey number. But so I'm in the hole. Oh, I'm in the hole 2 cents to start out with.
I think Easton's his middle name. So that's his name on his gloves.
Well, it's not a caricature, his jersey number, or McDonald's logo, so it doesn't count.
Okay.
Next is Scott Fletcher. Here he is with the Boston Red Sox. I remember Scott Fletcher with the Rangers as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I remember Fletcher as a Ranger.
Yeah, so Scott Fletcher, wow, 15 years in the big leagues for Scott Fletcher. Let's see, never won a World Series, never led the league in any category, was not an all-star, pretty much the epitome of an average player, except for this year where he had a 2.9 WAR.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you. So minus, let's see. Oh, he's got real stirrups on too. So that's essentially a 30-cent card and will bump me up to 28 cents. Thank you, Scott Fletcher.
Man, no kidding.
All right. Here is, I believe, one of the original Florida Marlins. I know him best as a closer for the California Angels. It's Brian Harvey.
Yeah, Brian Harvey, good pitcher. He was on the first year of the Marlins.
I thought he was taken in the expansion draft.
It's highly possible.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so he was on California from 87 through 92, and then in 93, 94, and 95, he was on the Marlins, drafted by the Marlins as the 20th pick in the expansion draft.
Ah, there you go.
The father of Hunter Harvey, who is, looks like he just made his major league debut this last season. Went 0-2 in 10 games for the Baltimore Orioles.
Huh. Well, there you have it.
Yeah. So Brian Harvey, let's see, in 1993, he had a 4.0 ERA, or a WAR ERA.
What?
4.0 WAR.
Oh, man.
Went 1-5, but he saved 45 games.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, it was an all-star, had a good year. Let's see, we're at the point, because these are kind of older or younger cards, where players are wearing their pants down so low you can't see their stirrups.
Right. The long pants that came all the way down to the shoes have been very popular since then.
Now, he always had a good mustache. I'm just going to give myself 1 cent on the mustache. I don't want to overdo it. So that's a 41-cent card for me. 41.
Sheesh.
I'm getting confused saying cent, but that's the way I'm going to stick with it. So that'll bring me to 69 cents. Next, Chico. That's all I'm going to say.
Chico Azuela.
No.
Baseball has been very, very good to me.
This Chico, you probably best know him from the Pittsburgh Pirates. No? Jose Lind?
I'm drawing. Oh, Jose Lind was Chico?
Yep.
Oh. Well, learn something every day. Jose Lind, I like that guy.
So you're going to like him even more because in 93 he had a minus 1.4 WAR.
Yeah, boy.
But he does have some real stirrups on. So that's going to be a minus 13 for me. I'm going the wrong way now, too. That'll bring you down to 56. The cousin of Onyx Concepcion. I didn't know that. I remember that name, Onyx Concepcion, just because I remember his card. I never saw him play, but interesting.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar. Interesting.
All right, next, I remember this guy, first baseman for the Red Sox, because he was always pear-shaped. Carlos Quintana.
Yes, I remember Quintana, man. My brother collected his cards.
Somebody collected Carlos Quintana cards other than Carlos Quintana's mom?
Yes.
That's weird.
My brother, who I think is related to him somehow. I'm not sure.
Well, let's see. In 1993, he had not played in a year and a half at this point, and his WAR was a minus 1.4. It was his last year, too. He actually had a pretty short career, only 5 years. I remember him being a lot better than he was. 90 and 91, he played in 149 games both years, hit 287, 295, didn't have much power. But yeah, not much. But he's got real stirrups, so I'm only going to minus 13 cents. I'm going the wrong way now. I'm down to 43 cents.
Man, I guess.
Oh, but I got a Hall of Famer. He's in the Hall of Fame. That's all that counts, is he's in the Hall of Fame. Here he is with the Baltimore Orioles. It is a man who played for the White Sox twice, once after they had retired his number. It's Harold Baines.
Harold Baines. You know, we kind of talk about him like, you know, well, he doesn't really belong in the Hall of Fame. But, I mean, the guy was a scary hitter with a lot of power. You know,
22 years in the big leagues.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, he could hit, man.
289 lifetime batting average, 6-time All-Star. And in 93, he had a 2.6 WAR, which is good. He looks like he's got some 2-and-1s, but he's also got a mustache because he always wore that beard mustache. But he is a Hall of Famer. So that is going to be a 31-cent card for me. I needed that. It'll bring me up to 74 cents. Next, we've talked about this guy last week with his kicking stat on Baseball Reference. Here he is with the Yankees, Paul O'Neill.
Yes, Paul O'Neill. Yankees and Reds, right? Did he play for anyone else?
I don't believe he did. Let me see here. Paul O'Neill played 9 years for the Yankees, 8 years for the Reds to start out his career. 93, 3.7 WAR. I'll take that all day.
Dude could hit.
Yeah, he's got,
no question.
He's got 2-and-1s going on there, so it's only going to give me 36 cents. But that's that might have put me over the top. I'm at $1.10 now.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're going to need me to get
Who had the worst WAR in 93? Was it Joe Slobotnik?
Well, he had feet of cement, so it might have been. Next, we've got the guy. Speaking of original Marlins, well, this makes sense because this is 93 set. So this is the first year with Marlins in Jersey. This guy pitched the first game in Marlins franchise history. Probably topped out at about 72 miles per hour that day, and was 147 years old.
Yes, I know who it is.
It's Charlie Hough.
The one and only Charlie Hough. Pitched until he was in his 90s, I think.
I think he is still pitching for Ruben Sierra down in Mexico, or Ruben Sierra's in the Dominican League this year.
Okay. Well, he may be. He's throwing that knuckleball.
Well, no, he is. He's a coach down there, remember? Oh, well, Ruben Sierra is. 93, not a good year for Mr. Hough. Minus 0.1 WAR. He does have some really big real stirrups, though, so that's going to even me out there. But Charlie Hough, 25 years, just like Jamie Moyer, 25 years.
Wow. Yeah. It wasn't that tough on his arm. He was a knuckleballer, so he didn't throw super hard, you know, and he didn't have the greatest numbers, but they weren't bad either. He was always a reliable 200 inning guy.
If I told you that he won 216 games, would you believe me?
Well, I guess I will now.
Yeah. Final record, 216 and 216 with 61 saves.
What?
So apparently in 76 and 77, when he was with the Dodgers, he saved 18 and 22 games.
No kidding. Who knew that?
Well, we certainly didn't. I bet some of our listeners probably are like, these guys are idiots. He closed a couple of years with the Dodgers, but let's see. So what did I say? In this year he did. Oh, I think he was even because he had a -1 WAR, but he's got real stirrups. All right, next, a guy who has the same last name as a very good reliever for the Dodgers, but they pronounce them completely different. Here he is for the Royals. We know him mainly with the Twins, Greg Gagne.
Yeah, shortstop. Solid, all the way around, good defensive, had a little bit of pop. For some reason, and I remember this, for some reason, as a right-handed hitter, he couldn't hit lefties very well.
Well, I just want some sort of credit for not calling him Greg Gagne, like I always do.
Yeah, good job, man. You remembered.
Well, he's got a 2.4 WAR this year. He's got 2-1s though, so that'll only get me 23, but that brings me up to 133. Next, Mitch Webster with the Dodgers.
Mitch Webster. Boy, I remember. I can even see the Webster on a Dodgers uniform, but I can't remember anything about the guy.
I think he played for the Expos at one point. Yep, he played for the Expos for 4 years in his career. That's where I remember that name, Mitch Webster. And just like you said, on the back of his jersey, I remember that.
Yeah.
Not a good year in 93. -0.6 WAR. And he's got
Still not going to knock you.
So that's a -7. Yeah, I'm not super worried at this point. That'll knock me down to 126 with 4 cards left. This guy, I think he was Rookie of the Year for the Phillies at shortstop. It is Kevin Stalker.
Wow, I remember that guy, but man, not much. I think he was Rookie of the Year.
No, he wasn't. He came in 6th, but this was his rookie season. How about that's clearly what I was thinking. He went to UW, University of Washington, and he's from Spokane, which maybe that's
nice.
what I remember most about him, because I was collecting cards big time while I was in school at Wazoo at this point, and Kevin Stalker would have been right up our alley there with that.
Yeah.
A 2.3 WAR though, and he's got real stirrups, so I will take that. That'll bring me up to $150. Next, we've got a horizontal card. This is a really nice looking card. It's Doug DeCenzo getting a lead off of first base.
Stadium Club always has the best pictures.
Well, except for Upper Deck.
Well, we could go back and forth on that one.
That you disagree. All right. Doug DeCenzo. I thought I remembered Doug DeCenzo playing for the Orioles, but only the Cubs and the Rangers. So I guess in one short year with the Padres.
I don't recall a lot, but
no, he actually didn't play that long. 7 years. I say not that long, 7 years, but he was a starter 3 of those. -0.4 WAR, but he does have real stirrups, so that'll just be a -0.3. Bring me to 147. 2 cards left. I'll have to put this one aside to send to our buddy that collects Tim Wallach cards.
oh yes, nothing but Tim Wallach. Tim Wallach, I say it every time, is fantastic third baseman that could hit.
17 years in the big leagues, most of it with Montreal. Here he is with the Dodgers. Here he spent 4 years there. 1993, an off year for Tim. -0.5 WAR. The Stadium Club logo and his name go right over the stirrups. So I can't see. So that's just going to be a -4 cents for me there. But my final card is going to help me out a little bit more. It's another Hall of Famer. It's the Big Hurt.
Nice.
Frank Thomas,
man. What can you say about him that hasn't been said? He's just a big, strong, amazing power hitter.
Have you ever heard of anybody that doesn't like Frank Thomas?
No, I don't think I have. I think it's a rule you have to.
Yeah, I mean, he smiled a lot. He was a big guy that looked like he was just, he looked like he was having fun. A really good ball player.
Never in any trouble.
Yeah.
If
there was a fight, you certainly wouldn't want to get near him.
No.
Dude was huge. So 7.1 WAR this year. Not surprising. It's Frank Thomas. He was the MVP this year. First of back-to-back MVPs. Hit 317, 426 on base, and slugged 607. Hit 41 home runs, 128 ribs. That doesn't surprise me that's that large.
Those are Hall of Fame and superstar numbers right there.
So altogether, that is a 7.1 WAR, a Hall of Famer, and real stirrups, and a mustache. No mustache. So I've kind of lost. I'm just going to give myself 76. It doesn't matter. I won.
Yes, you did.
I really am digging these new rules because I've now won 2 in a row. So there you go. There is another episode of Wax Packs Heroes. I am now only trailing by 2. It is 7-5 in Mark's favor.
Congrats, man. I couldn't get the guys playing very well right there.
No, I think my 2 Hall of Famers really kind of did you in there.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But all right, well, let's start to wrap up the show. We'd like to thank everybody as usual. We really do appreciate you listening every week. If you want to follow us on social media, we can be found at 2 Strike Noise. That is at TWO Strike Noise on both Twitter and Instagram. You can also search for us on YouTube and find us. Mark, if they want to get a hold of us via email, how do they do that?
The electronic mail address is 2 Strike Noise. Spell it out, TWO Strike Noise @gmail.com.
We'll be back again. We are really closing in on 100 shows, and I think we need to do something special. I don't know. I have no idea what it would be, but we need to do something special for our 100th show. So
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe we just sit around and talk about Ricky Henderson and Nolan Ryan again.
I think we've done enough of that.
Really? All right. Well, until we get to that point, again, thank you very much. And we will see you next week on another episode of 2 Strike Noise.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a great day.